Hogs, Paris, Fort Smith. Live from the Busch Light Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
And this one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Streaming live from
Hit that line.
.com.
Fans are amazing. It is lit down here on the sideline.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Here come the students. Oh, here come the students. They're coming from the south end, and this one has been a long time brewing.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
Hey there, happy Tuesday. This is the day where it's like you got to work a little bit doing sports radio. I was so happy yesterday.
Got a case
Monday.
of the Tuesdays.
2 hours felt like 15 minutes yesterday, so I guess today is going to feel more like 3 hours than a 2-hour show. So good to be with you on a cold Tuesday across the natural state. Phil Elson, Drew Barrett, Matty T. Switching things up a little with the guest for Tuesday. Nate Olson, with 1 week left of high school football, will join us in about 30 minutes to recap the few championship games that were played last weekend and the ones that are on the docket for Friday and Saturday at War Memorial Stadium. We're getting into Razorback basketball with Curtis Wilkerson in hour number 2. He, of course, covers everything Arkansas athletics at hogsports.com. Plus your calls and texts if you want to get in with us, 877-377-6963 to do it. And right about now, in the capital city at the Marriott Hotel, there is a ceremony that began. I guess it started about 2 minutes ago if they were right on schedule. The Little Rock Touchdown Club annually, of course, is the place where the Royals Award is awarded. And it's nice that the first 2 major college football awards are given out back-to-back days in the state of Arkansas. Congratulations to Grant Morgan yesterday for winning the Burlsworth Trophy. And man, I mean, you could have made the case he would have been a very he would have been deserving 2 years in a row. Although I don't think anybody would take it away from Pitt's Jimmy Morrissey from last year, but Grant. Everything seemed to be like, how could you, it wouldn't have looked well. We talk optics sometimes, about how things look, and I would say Crystal Bridges outside of, maybe Crystal Bridges is the most famous building in Northwest Arkansas on a worldwide scale, and you have a lot of dignitaries that are connected to the Razorback athletics program who are there. John Williams is the MC. Rick Schaefer is doing the interviewing. Coach Pittman is there. Number of other Arkansas staffers are there too. So either they knew something or we just all kind of expected that with all of that happening and Grant being a finalist for the second year in a row that he would get the award. It couldn't have happened any other way, right, Drew? Please tell me it couldn't have happened any other way.
I mean, it could have happened a few different ways. I honestly didn't think he was going to get it, especially when you have Stetson Bennett up against him for, the best walk-on of the year. And that's what I think maybe it's a misnomer or misinformation out there that it's supposed to be for the year. I think this is more of a collective of what Grant Morgan has done over his career at the University of Arkansas. So if it's, more of what have you done to this point, throughout the years instead of just from, September to December, then I think Grant Morgan definitely deserves it. I think all 3 of them deserved it. I mean, it's very hard to go from being a walk-on, from being that guy that has to prove himself day in and day out, doesn't get anything special, any special treatment, to become the type of player that all 3 of these guys have been. I don't think there was a lose-lose situation, but it is very fitting that a guy that embodies what the University of Arkansas is and what that football program means to this state is the first Razorback to win the award. I think it's just perfect, and it's storybook, and it couldn't have been written better in Hollywood if they tried.
Well, I mean, some of the who's who of college football legendary coaches are, on the committee. So I think they know exactly what it's like to see somebody who, I mean, it's so funny. It's ironic now to look back at this and remember that Grant Morgan did not get a rating by any of the recruiting services, at least not by 24/7 when I was reading this morning. No recruiting ranking whatsoever, and turns himself into one of the best college linebackers in the nation in back-to-back years, and potentially somebody that you're not going to tell me that he won't have a shot to do something in the NFL. I'm not going to say he's going to get drafted high or anything like that. He may end up being a free agent for all I know. Who was the Miami Dolphins linebacker that went to Texas Tech? He's got a little bit of the same build. He was a really good linebacker for 10, 12 years there. And he reminds me of, I think some of our texters will remember who I'm talking about. Zach Thomas, that's his name.
Okay.
Zach Thomas. Yeah, Grant's got a little bit of the Zach Thomas thing going. I don't know if Thomas was a walk-on at Texas Tech, but, he turned himself into an undersized but outstanding NFL linebacker. And who knows if Grant can't do that? I don't know anybody that's going to say he can't.
Well, the story of Grant Morgan is just another one of the great examples of how much hard work truly does mean in this life, right? If you're willing to work for it, if you're willing to not complain, if you're willing to put in the time and the effort, that you can accomplish anything. Yeah, of course you need talent, and Grant Morgan has a lot of talent. But just because, while I think the recruiting guys, they work extremely hard. There's a lot of different high school players to try to rate and review and see where and project and everything. And, of course, there's going to be some that fall through the crack. But the story of Grant Morgan and basically all three of the guys last night is just another great example of, hey, just because someone doesn't think you can do it doesn't mean you can't.
Yeah, and then you end up with Stetson Bennett, at the ceremony and ends up a runner-up. And he's the most talked about. I think he and Bryce Young right now are the most talked about quarterbacks in college football for differing reasons, right? Like
Yes.
Young, this is the guy that just clinched the Heisman with this great performance in the SEC championship game. And then there's Bennett, who is a walk-on, started his career as a walk-on at Georgia. And eventually, this is a program in Georgia that has had trouble developing great college quarterbacks, okay? That he was not the guy that won the job the year before. Remember, he didn't start game one against Arkansas. DeJuan Mathis did. And Stetson Bennett came off the bench because Mathis looked terrible.
Stetson Bennett was third string because I believe JT was at Georgia and he had gotten hurt as well. Didn't he?
And he was – well, I know he wasn't available last year against Arkansas, but this year he would have been. That was the first game, if I remember, that Bennett started. So he came off the bench or sat the bench for the first 3-4 games. I think it was for the first 4 Georgia games until Daniels was sidelined with it was a lat injury, something that I thought might be a problem for someone who's got to throw a football 20 to 25 times.
It normally is.
With Georgia, maybe 15 to 20 times. Who knows? But, now there's all this talk about, well, Kirby needs to replace him. And maybe he will. Maybe he will in the college football invitational.
I mean, we've seen in very recent history of a backup wielding his team to victory at a big stage. It was against the team that beat Georgia. They beat Georgia a few years ago. I mean, it worked out pretty good for Tua Tagovailoa and the Alabama Crimson Tide. So who's to say that it won't be a detriment to the team? And that's kind of one of the things that you hear and you kind of think about when you talk about switching at a key position like the quarterback position this late into the season when, hypothetically you've got 1, possibly 2 games left. Why would you switch the chemistry? Why would you switch everything up? But it could work.
You could just change your quarterback at halftime of the national championship game.
Could just do that.
Maybe that works too, because it did.
It did.
So don't tell me you can't change quarterbacks going in to a potential 2-game playoff when it worked at halftime for Alabama against Georgia. Off the top of my head, forgetting how many years ago that was, but it's obviously so close.
I want to say
that
was 3 years ago. I want to say it was 2018.
Yeah. Don't tell me you can't make a change with 3 weeks or 4 weeks or 3 weeks until their next game.
Plenty of time.
They can certainly make that change. You're just not going to announce that change at all. At all. Certainly you're not going to be talking about it while your current quarterback is on a podium at Crystal Bridges Museum in Northwest Arkansas.
Yeah, probably not the best
getting
place
lauded for his career.
Best place to announce it. But basically, I mean, speaking of how much time we actually have, you kind of relevate this to the first week of the season. We're in the second week of August, right? Right now, compared to week 1 of September. There are plenty of quarterback battles that hadn't been decided, quarterbacks that haven't been ranked on the rosters 1, 2, and 3. So if you can change it up in that short of a time, like we see it happen every single year, then you can do it right now. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, if sports, really life, is just about adjustments, you can make that adjustment with this kind of time to prepare for it. All right, so we'll see. I don't know when the announcement of the Broyles Award occurs, but it'll be sometime within the next hour and a half or so, because they do have a lengthy ceremony there with run by David Basil. So Jeff Grimes, the OC at Baylor, Jim Knowles, the defensive coordinator at Oklahoma State, Dan Lanning, who I think folks would think is probably the front runner, DC out of Georgia, Josh Gaddis, who's the offensive coordinator at Michigan, and Warren Ruggiero, who's the offensive coordinator at Wake Forest. Every one of these teams that these coaches represent played in their conference championship game over the weekend. Every last one of them. And it's interesting, too. Do I have my stats pulled up here from this? I might have X'd out of it. You have a defensive coordinator from the Big 12 amongst the finalists.
That's a little funny.
No, it isn't any longer. When you go back and look, like 5
Did I miss something? They learned how to play defense in the Big 12 this year?
Yeah, this year it actually happened. Like 5 of the top defenses out of the top 50 were Big 12 defenses this year. Oklahoma finished 8th in the nation.
What you talking about, Willis? I don't know.
8th in the nation in scoring defense. That's
I'm going to have to double-check those numbers.
Drew, it's not your older brother's Big 12.
I guess it's not.
It's not even your best friend's Big 12 who's a year older than you, man. I mean, it's a new Big 12. It's a brave new world that they're playing in over there, because they actually have a defensive coordinator who just might finish runner-up to the Broyles Award, because I think Dan Lanning's going to probably run away with it. That's just my guess. Just my guess. All right, again, the phone number, 877-377-6963, and halftime is right back.
I used to shoes me, but neither one cared. We were getting our share, working on our 9 months, trying to lose an awkward teenage blues. Working on our 9 months.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
Your home for every Razorback football game.
College to midfield, the 40, the 30, College at the 20, to the 10, to the 5, to the pylon. Touchdown, Arkansas!
As you can tell, this means a lot,
Only on ESPN 95.3.
Looking for a fence company that will provide the personal touch to your fence or gating project? Call Dusty's Fence Company at 479-629-4190. Dusty's Fence Company specializes in custom wood design, vinyl fencing, chain link and ornamental iron projects, and they can even stain your fence to complete your project. Family owned and in business for 20 years, you will deal with the same person from start to finish. That's Dusty's Fence Company, 479-629-4190.
Harry Robinson Salisal Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisal.
TGI Fridays is the best place in Fort Smith for food, fun, and football. Your locally owned TGI Fridays in Fort Smith has your favorite beers on tap. And Thursday through Sunday for bar football, all drafts are just $2. Fridays is the best place to watch football with plenty of TVs so you won't miss a second of the action, while enjoying famous Fridays appetizers like the loaded potato skins or Friday's signature whiskey glazed sliders. It's food, fun, and football with $2 drafts Thursday through Sunday at your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 and Rogers in Fort Smith. Smith.
The temperatures may be cooling down, but at Wheels RV in Northwest Arkansas, the deals are still red hot. Whether you are enjoying one of over 50 state parks or tailgating with your favorite team, Wheels has the right RV to help you enjoy fall in the natural state. And at Wheels RV, every new unit comes with a lifetime warranty. So get out to Wheels and see why they were voted best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
For 33 years, Manfield's Automotive Parts City Auto Parts has been trusted as your one-stop for all your vehicle needs. Get a great deal on a Superstart battery and any of the products you need for the do-it-yourself upkeep on your car or truck. When you need work done, Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts does everything from oil changes, brakes, alignments, diagnostic work, air conditioning, and more. Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts in downtown Mansfield is open 8 to 5:30 Monday through Friday and 8 to 1 on Saturdays.
Let Carco Car Sales, formerly Hertz Car Sales, show you how easy it is to buy a quality used car. Carco Auto Sales has been serving the River Valley in eastern Oklahoma for over 40 years and believe in fair prices, superior service, and treating people right. The friendly and knowledgeable staff is here to help you find the car you deserve, priced right to fit your budget, so you can leave with a peace of mind knowing that you are getting a quality, well-maintained vehicle. Come see the team at Carco Auto Sales, formerly Hertz Car Sales, at 2810 Midland Boulevard today. Give them a call at 783-1722 or check them out at buyfromcarco.com. Carco Auto Sales, when you're ready.
Ashley Air is proud to be an official sponsor of Razorback Athletics. Our service to the River Valley began in 1958, the same year that the legendary Frank Broyles took over as football coach. The Hogs have had some great coaches, but we've never had so many on campus all at once. Sam Pittman, Eric Musselman, Dave Van Horn, and Mike Neighbors, just to name a few. What an incredible team. We put together quite a team at Ashley Air, too. On game day, call the Hogs. When your AC breaks, call Ashley Air.
This is ESPN 95.3. Halftime today is brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings in Fort Smith, Conway, Little Rock, Sherwood, and Jonesboro. Buffalo Wild Wings.
Roar!
Great inbound pass by Ramirez. Go forth, reverse layup, and one. What a beautiful play that took less than half a second to develop.
Need a little bit more halftime in your life? Make sure to download the Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast. Eastside Liquor in Fort Smith has the best deals in the River Valley on liquor, beer, and wine. Stop by 9390 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith and make sure to check out their Facebook page for weekly specials. The Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast is part of the Hit That Line Podcast Network and is available wherever you listen to podcasts.
Basketball on the docket tonight. Arkansas versus Charlotte. We'll have the Learfield pregame show beginning at 7:30 with Chuck and Coach Z. 8:02 tip-off. Let's say 8 o'clock. You know it's 2 minutes after. Women play Jackson State Thursday. And that'll be interesting with the Hogs visiting the BOK Center in Tulsa on Saturday against Oklahoma. I think that should be a lot of fun. So I went back and looked at these defensive rankings for the Big 12. Where did I have this stuff here? Here you go. Oklahoma State finished 8th in the nation in scoring defense, allowed 16.8 points per game. 4 Big 12 schools were in the top 30 in scoring defense. Baylor was 14th. Iowa State finished 23rd. Kansas State was 29th. That's scoring defense, of course, going just by points. Total defense, you had 4 Big 12 teams in the top 40. 5 of the top 41, and Oklahoma State ranked 3rd. So, and Georgia finished tops in scoring defense, not total defense. Wisconsin did that. So those will probably be the two coaches you'd look at, but, we'll see. Nobody's announced who the Broyles Award winner is yet. But we do know that Sam Pittman is a winner as the Coach of the Year. What's the region that Coach Pittman
Region
represents?
number 2.
I don't know how they break these regions up necessarily, but I'd assume either. This is a southern region.
Because how does Mr. Fickle win Region 1 and then Mel Tucker win Region 3?
Right, because Cincinnati and
Langston,
East Lansing are not that far away. That's Cincinnati's the southern tip of Ohio.
I mean, it's pretty close to Kentucky, but you'd still think if you're breaking up the United States in 5 regions, Ohio and Michigan would be in the same one.
I went looking on the AFCA website. This is the American Football Coaches Association to find definitions of the regions. I mean, I'm interested in exactly what region. I couldn't find it anywhere. But who cares in that case?
I mean, maybe Ohio's classified as East/Northeast. Michigan would be a part of the Midwest, and then
so what is Texas?
Sam Pittman gets Southeast, and
is
then
Texas its own region?
Texas would be Southwest, and then Blake Anderson of Utah State gets West/Northwest. I don't know. I'm trying my best.
You need a map to cut, to carve into some pieces here and some cookie cutters to work with. So, Sam Pittman is a Region 2 winner. That's his first. I mean, how are you going to say first? This is his second year as a head coach, and it's his first head coaching award. So, wow, that's outstanding. I feel like if there's any suspense about if Sam Pittman will win the Coach of the Year award by the AFCA, the headline states
it's a little bit of a giveaway, isn't it?
Who the favorite's going to be, because the headline on their own release says Luke Fickell headlines 2021 AFCA FBS Regional Coaches of the Year winners. So if this organization that's going to give out the national award next month says this dude headlines it, isn't this dude going to win it?
You would expect that to happen, right? I mean, you don't put that guy's name in the headline and then your next headline reads, "Surprise! Mel Tucker wins National Head Coach of the Year from the AFCA." Like, you don't.
They need a better script writer, Drew. They need
do.
a much better script writer, somebody that knows how to hold suspense and keep viewers interested.
That's exactly what they have to do,
the
because
same person who writes
now we know
Yellowstone.
everything.
Yeah, you would think. Hey, look, I understand. Those who work in mass communications, public relations, sometimes are not the greatest script writers for suspenseful purposes. But whoever wrote that release, they can't probably tell you what all of the journalists tell you when they are blamed for a poor headline. I didn't write the headline, they say, because the
editor writes the headline.
The editor writes the headline.
Of course.
I'm going to tell you that the person that wrote that press release probably wrote the headline too.
Probably, but
they can't use that excuse.
I always hated. I worked at a student newspaper at college, and then I also worked for the Tri-State Defender a little bit in college as well. And I don't know if my editor had it out for me, but out of probably a good 50 to 100 stories that I wrote for the Daily Helmsman in my time at the University of Memphis, I hated every single headline he wrote for it. I honestly think he tried to make my story look as stupid as possible.
There's probably a lot of editors that do that exact thing on purpose just to irk their writers.
I mean, now, I ended up getting fired. They said I got let go due to budget cuts, but let's be honest. When you get let go due to budget cuts a week after you tell the head editor to go bleep himself, I don't think I was really just happened to be let go due to budget cuts. I think I was let go, and there might have been budget cuts because I had had enough, and he'd want me to do all this in-depth stories, wanted me to go research the archives, and I said, man, you pay me for 3 hours a week. I'm going to give you the best 3 hours a week I've got, but that is it. And it said that wasn't enough, so I told him to go bleep himself.
If it took them 7 days to figure out where the budget cuts needed to occur after those words were uttered by you, this is so obviously was not a daily publication, was it?
Apparently, it was such a big budget cut that my $50 a week had to be cut. And it's strange because I think I was the only person that was let go due to budget cuts. I guess they really needed that $200 a month.
I think they wanted you to try to lose the budget on certain words that you say to people that are your superiors. But sometimes you reserve those words for when you just don't care.
I was right. I was done. I wasn't going to do it my last semester. I think that was my fall semester, my senior year. I wasn't coming back anyway. So,
well, I used to work in public relations as the Travelers broadcaster. I also wrote every press release, which means I wrote every headline. So, yeah, Whoever wrote this basically just told everybody that Luke Fickell is going to be the National Coach of the Year, according to the AFCA. I would view it an incredible upset now. If
maybe he just doesn't want to do another press release, so he'll just send out this one again.
So congratulations also due to the other national runners-up. Those are Mel Tucker, Jeff Traylor. That's cool. Jeff Traylor, how about that?
Mm-hmm.
And Blake Anderson, former Arkansas State coach who turned Utah State around. So we got a lot of Arkansas ties there, along with Coach Pittman. And I don't think Luke Fickell probably deserves the award for
I'm sure he does.
2 undefeated regular seasons in a row and sustained success there, and for his name now always being thrown around for whatever opening is coming amongst the big programs in college football. And for those of us who I remember the conversations we all had like 4 or 5 months ago, and for some reason I have this like pull to root against the underdog in cases like this. I don't need to think about this the same way, because we wanted more chalk in the college football playoff / invitational. It's like the same 4 schools every year.
And we didn't get chalk this year.
Here's one of them, and another one in Michigan that's never been there before. So thank you, Luke Fickell. Thank you, Jim Harbaugh. Can't believe I just said that. All right. Hey, it is a Tuesday, and that is just a great day for your stomach at Joe's Grilling Cantina. Can LeBron tell us why on Tuesday it's such a great day to be alive?
It's Taco Tuesday!
That's right, LeBron. He's over there right now, probably getting angry at somebody and getting chased across the street. That's Taco Tuesday at Joe's Grilling Cantina. Crispy tacos, beef or chicken, just $1 all day long. The pork carnita tacos, just $2.25. $3.25 for the brisket tacos and pork belly tacos, and your sides are just 75 cents. That is all day long at Joe's Grilling Cantina. Make sure you stop by for happy hour. They've got other specials going on from 3 to 6. But usually I'd want to hang out on the patio. A little chilly for that today. That's Joe's Grilling Cantina. You can also order online at joesfortsmith.com, and they're right across from the Harps in Fort Smith. After the break, we're joined by Nate Olson from Scorebook Live. High school football championships, the topic. Stay tuned.
Halftime is brought to you by Crabtree RV Center. 4 generations making your family dreams come true.
5G is here.
Back and better than ever. All eyes are on the gridiron as teams are back for another football season. As always, BetOnline is your #1 spot for all the pro and college football action this season. With the new updated site and interface, even more odds, props, and contests, BetOnline continues to be the #1 source for everything football. Head to your website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Don't forget to use our promo code BELIEVE to receive your bonus. That's BLEAV. From football, basketball, boxing, right to your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of these amazing offers for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Do you know the difference between admission and confession? Admission is acknowledging the truth of something. Confession is a formal statement agreeing that you're guilty. Greg Allman admitted he's no angel, but that doesn't mean he confessed his guilt before God. Romans 10:10 says, one believes and is justified, and with the mouth one confesses and is saved. Confess to God that Jesus died in your guilty place, and then you'll receive His amazing grace. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Pray about it.
The Game Day Lodge in Branson is the perfect place for corporate retreats, golf trips, and team building activities. You'll find 10 bedrooms with 19 beds for up to 28 guests, 9 bathrooms, 17 TVs, poker table, 2 kitchens, 2 laundry rooms, a fire pit, 2 gas grills, outdoor basketball court, a heated indoor swimming pool nearby, and a 10-minute drive to Silver Dollar City. Not to mention near some of the best golf courses. Just search Game Day Lodge on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Airbnb, and VRBO. We're back and better than ever. All eyes are on
60% on your heating bill by converting to safe, reliable natural gas from AOG. The savings can actually pay for your conversion cost. In addition, natural gas can deliver your energy needs on the coldest day, even when the power is out. Call 784-2000 or visit AOGC.com and switch to natural gas today. AOG, energy for life.
Have you ever been to River City Bistro for a brunch on the weekends? Every Saturday and Sunday, River City is open at 10 a.m. with a special brunch menu. Eggs and omelets any way you like. Premium bacon, sausage and ham, waffles, eggs Benedict, and a great drink menu featuring mimosas, Bloody Marys, and all your brunch favorites. We will see you for brunch every Saturday and Sunday starting at 10 a.m. at River City Bistro, 7320 Rogers Avenue in the Stonewood Village Shopping Center.
This is ESPN 95.3. Halftime today is brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings in Fort Smith, Conway, Little Rock, Sherwood, and Jonesboro. Buffalo Wild Wings.
Now, baby doll, sweetie pie, sugar plum, honey bun, angel face, you know you better be good and act like true fine love should. Be careful what you say and do, 'cause Santa Claus is watching. He's everywhere! He's everywhere!
Find us on 99.5 and 1290 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith in the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs in Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
And Nate Olson from ScorebookLive.com joining us here as we are, I was going to say home stretch. No, we're in the final lap. We're in the final, 50 meters of the high school.
The checkered flag
season.
is out.
That's right. You have, 4 down, 3 to go. I counted 8-man football in that, Nate, because you guys actually did some covering of 8-man football this year. Yeah. Well, let's get into the classic game with Fayetteville and Bryant. Just seemed like, you had two great teams. Bryant, obviously the behemoth, the Cyclops. Mm-hmm. Fayetteville would be the would be David in this case, and just wasn't meant to be for the underdog, but a classic game nonetheless.
You bet. There were better games this year, but not a better one than I witnessed. And I have to leave most games at halftime that I go to. I do TV for Channel 11 here and stay and watch as much as I can, usually to the third quarter or halftime, then I leave. And so I was able to watch this one from the press box at War Memorial from beginning to end. And it's one of those games where if you weren't a fan of either team and you were watching it on public television, you were riveted by it because it was exciting. And it was probably almost a relief to you to not have a team in that fight because it was such a back and forth slugfest. And Fayetteville really proved to me that they belong there, and they had to get there by the skin of their teeth. The 40-yard field goal against Conway by a kicker who had never kicked a field goal in a game. So they got there in kind of miraculous fashion, but they proved to me that they are an excellent football team. And if you take Bryant to the fourth quarter, you're doing something right. If you have them down with a couple minutes to go, you're even doing something more right. And so They just couldn't quite hang on. But 38-34, they lose. But I really think it said more about Bryant than Fayetteville. They are just on a run that we haven't seen much in Arkansas high school football.
Yeah, I want to ask exactly why. Why is that, Nate? Why has Bryant become the, reload every year program? And there are a couple others in Arkansas, but when you're talking about the largest classification, this is just very impressive.
Well, we've seen PA do it, but the thing that is impressive about Bryant is it's at the 7A level where you've had some real formidable foes, or they're supposed to be formidable, like Bentonville in there, North Little Rock, Fayetteville. I mean, there's traditionally really good competition, 7A. I have the privilege of living here and seeing all the way, my sons are 10 and 12, so I see all the kids that are like from third grade on up, and what I see is a ton of athletic talent in all sports. I mean, these kids are good athletes. I see it, in fifth grade with Luke, and seventh grade with JD. The middle school football team was undefeated. They handed off to a running back on the first play of the year. He went 80 yards for a touchdown. So there's a lot of talent there, and Buck James is, he's not only one of the better coaches here, but one of the best in the country, in the region for sure. Anybody would want to have him, and he's assembled a great staff. Kirk Bach, he was a great baseball coach, won several state baseball championships. He's a full-time football coach now, and Buck really gave him the credit for working Carson Burnett, who was a third-team quarterback last year, probably more like a running back, linebacker type, into a more than sufficient quarterback. But going back to the game, so the big play was, this is, it's Bryant in a nutshell. It's 4th and 7 with a couple minutes left, a little over 3 minutes. And you get the feeling if Fayetteville's got the lead here, if they get the stop, they're going to win the ball game. They probably need 1 or 2 first downs, depending on clock management. They're going to win. And Bryant, I didn't think the play calling there, they'd run the ball pretty well, but it was 3rd and 7, and they went way downfield, and the pass was errant. So this sets up a 4th and 7. It's kind of tricky. And Burnett throws a strike to Torian Singleton, the really emerging super sophomore. He's had a great last 5 or 6 games. He is heavily defended over by the sideline. The defensive back has his hand right in his breadbasket, and Singleton makes the catch, and the guy immediately tackles him, but he peels off the tackle and goes another 15 yards down the sideline, and then a couple plays later catches a ball in the end zone that a lot of people on the Fayetteville side thought he pushed off, an offensive pass interference. But, that's Bryant in a nutshell. 4th and 7 with a quarterback who, he started all year, but he's not a star like Ledbetter. And he delivers this great pass, and Fayetteville is right there. It could have easily been knocked away, but it's not. And I think a lot of things have happened over the last couple years for sure, or this year for sure. Almost lost to Conway. They win that game. This game the same way. When you're winning and you believe you can win, that momentum is invaluable. And I think that was kind of the difference in that game, was that when it got down to the crunch time, Bryant knew they were going to win the game. And I think Fayetteville thought they were, but I think Bryant knew it even when they were behind with that coaching staff, and they pulled it out. But Fayetteville, and the other thing I got to say is extremely impressed with Bladen Fike. He had 3 picks in the game. Somehow, but not all his fault. But he threw for 400 yards, and he had the go-ahead score was down by the goal line. He carried it 3 yards, and they were all over him, hanging on to him. He still gets in. You can tell he made a lot of improvements over the year from last year. He's a very good athlete. How he was in All-State in 7A, I'm not really sure how that worked. But he's one of the better. We have him ranked as one of the top, 2 or 3 quarterbacks in the state, regardless of class. So you can take that for what you want. But he impressed me a lot. And Satenya is super athletic, super fast. We saw that. And, when he gets with Kenny Guyton and he can run a little more crisp routes across the middle, a la Jerry Rice, he's going to be big time in the SEC. I mean, you see the speed. It's just, he's still learning the wide receiver craft. But when he gets those routes down, I mean, coming out, he had one where he came out of the break, and he looked really good doing that, a crossing pattern. And that's going to be a way that I think he can really help the Hogs, maybe even starting next year. But it was cool seeing him in person, and they're getting a good one there at Arkansas on him.
Nate, down at the 6A level, I think somewhat of an upset. El Dorado beating Greenwood, capturing their first title since 2013. Just real quick, what were your thoughts on that game?
Well, Greenwood got bit with the injury bug again. I don't know if you guys knew it, but I mean, in some positions they're down to the third team guy, and they had lost. They were down to their third team running back. Javian Williamson came in and did a really good job for them, but he broke his leg last week. He was having a great year in relief, and so it really just came down to attrition. Hunter Houston, who had kept them in the game, their quarterback, he gets hit really hard twice and then knocked out of the game, and that was kind of all she wrote then. And Sedarius Plummer runs for 4 touchdowns for El Dorado. Their defensive line looked big time, 8 sacks. Greenwood had a hard time blocking them. But the other thing that stood out to me is, man, you see a guy like, Drew Morgan. He wins the Burlsworth Award. There's something in the water down there. Those kids are tough as nails. They had guys in that game that hadn't played much, that were hurt, and they battled till the end. And that's the kind of mentality that got Morgan that award. And his brother made the team too. Drew Morgan, he was recruited as a walk-on and was a real good player too. It's because those guys don't know how to quit, and they're tough. And it showed in that game too. I mean, it could have been a worse differential, but they tried to stay in it even though they were outmanned.
All right, Nate, what else do we have this week? What's on the docket for you? What do you think is the best game that's left over?
I think the Shiloh Christian Robinson game will be good. Shiloh is down late in the ball game, gets the ball back, and you think you're going to pass the ball, but Ben Baker, 5'8", 160. He carried for 200 yards in that game, a 57-54 shootout. Carries it 3 times, and they score, and they win. And that's another program that knows how to win, but they haven't been in this position for a long time where they're behind. And I thought they showed a lot of moxie coming out with it. There's already at least one outlet that's picked them to lose the game this week against Robinson. Robinson's hot. They've got a quarterback who is a good player, Jack Cleveland, Darryl Searcy, a standout running back, and a Marion Harris, who Hog fans know, 6'7", 340, offensive tackle, defensive tackle, two-way star for them. He could make a big difference in this game, I think, maybe helping them stop the run. The run game has been real big for Shiloh. And I think if he plays well. I saw him in the first game of the year against PA. It was really hot. He was kind of laboring. It's a little cooler now, except it is supposed to be 80 on Friday here. But hopefully not too bad for him where he gets cramped or anything. But that's going to be a good one. I think it'll go back and forth. It should go to the fourth quarter. And at one point, I think we thought Shiloh, was going to cruise right through it. But Arkadelphia stepped their game up, and Robinson is playing as well as anybody right now. They blasted Warren down there, and as well as I do, most teams don't go to Warren in the playoffs and pull out lopsided wins. So that was a big telltale sign for them. I think when with Shiloh barely winning and Robinson winning big, that may make some people pick Robinson, but I think there's also going to be a little bit of bulletin board material for Shiloh. Jeff Conway was a great coach, and they have an tradition of excellence in winning there, so that should be a good one.
Last thing here, Nate, and we got a couple of minutes left in the segment. Is an interesting weekend for anybody involved with Pulaski Academy because they beat Whitehall in the 4A championship, and then a day later, Kevin Kelly announces he's resigning from Presbyterian College. And I mean, it felt like an experiment with him taking a head coaching job in college, and I understand there are challenges to coaching specifically in that league. It's not just Presbyterian that doesn't do football scholarships. It's the entire league. But the experiment didn't work out. Lost 9 straight games, and he got blown out in a lot of them. What happened there?
That's a good question, but I've been somebody that, I want to see it play out. I don't think 1 year it was long enough, and I don't know if that was his decision, if it was a school's, if it was a mutual thing, but I don't know. There were some bright spots there where they led the nation in passing. I just don't think they had enough talent all the way across the board, and probably defensively. But there were some bright spots. It left me kind of scratching my head, to be honest with you, because Kevin is a guy that he's got a lot of tenacity, and I really felt like he'd hit the recruiting trail hard and get some more guys in there. Probably come to Arkansas and get some kind of underrated, talented players and bring them in there that more fit his system. Some PA guys too, and maybe come back stronger next year. But yeah, a lot of people have asked me, and I haven't talked to him, and so my first inclination was that somebody had contacted him about a job. We haven't heard that yet. I still, no matter what happened this year, I believe that he's a Division I offensive coordinator for sure. I think that he's I was talking to somebody else, and they threw out the word, genius to describe his offensive philosophy, and that's what I've called him too. I mean, he's very brilliant with that. Throw out the whole gambling, the no punting and stuff. He wouldn't do that at the Division I level, probably at the Power 5 level, but his play calling and ability to put people in the right place would show through there. I think this is a real head scratcher, though. I mean, I thought that I didn't think that they might win the league this year or anything. And going 2-9, I mean, it's disappointing, but sometimes that happens when you take over a program. So I wouldn't have thought that this would be the end. It would be a challenge to try to come back next year. And so it didn't happen that way. And we may find out exactly what happens at some point, and it'll be interesting to see. I'm like everybody else, really wanting to know where he'll land, because I know it'll be somewhere.
Nate, appreciate you, man. Thanks for everything.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Nate.
Enjoy the games this weekend. Nate Olson, ScorebookLive.com. I think it's a little bit of an indictment of the system Kelly runs. They threw 35 interceptions.
That's not good.
35 interceptions and gave up 56 sacks. So
it's really not good.
Going 9 for 9 on the season on onside kicks doesn't really matter when your quarterback is literally handing the ball to the opponent and having his face stuffed into the ground routinely. They were 34% on fourth down conversions, tried 86 of them this year. It feels like an indictment of the system, but I understand what he means. It's 1 year. Maybe they just got in 30% of the playbook. I don't know.
Maybe.
877-377-6963 to wrap up the hour. And halftime will come right back.
The Big Hearty has 2 juicy charbroiled beef patties, melted cheese, and classic sauce. It's what you order from Hardee's when you want a big meal. A big, beefy, melted, cheesy meal. And with 3 juicy charbroiled beef patties, the really big Hearty is what you order when you want a really big meaty meal. A really big charbroiled beefy meal. A really big, beefy, melted, cheesy, juicy, tasty. You get the idea. The Big Hearty and Really Big Hearty at Hardee's. Feed your happy. Available for a limited time at participating Hardee's restaurants. Price and participation may vary.
Are your real estate investments being properly managed? Are you sending a check or cashing a check each month? If you're tired of your current property managers, then call Trinity Multifamily. Trinity will qualify your tenants and leases, inspect your properties, and take care of maintenance and provide you with web-based access to current financial reports, leases, and pictures of your property. Call Trinity Multifamily at 479-452-1817 or online at trinitymultifamily.com. Trinity Multifamily. Conway, your teammate in the real estate game.
Needing your roof repaired? Ramos Roofing is a local company that has over 25 years of experience specializing in your residential or commercial roofing needs in the Oklahoma area. Ramos Roofing, a company you can trust, offering discounts to senior citizens, law enforcement, or healthcare workers, and assists in your insurance claims. Ramos Roofing, standing behind their work so you can stand under it. Call 479-420-9903. That's 420-9903. Ramos Roofing, working with you to build a better home.
Champion Cycling, located at 5500 Massard Road, is a locally owned bike shop in Fort Smith that wants to help you find the joy in cycling that has been a part of their family for years. Their goal is to find the right bike for you, whether it's a road bike, mountain bike, or just a bike for leisure. Champion Cycling is totally stocked and has a large selection of bikes, including brands from Specialized, Pivot, and Look. Whether it's fixing a flat tire or a basic tune-up, their dependable service department is always ready to help. Stop by Champion Cycling today at 5500 Massard Road, and they will help you find your joy in cycling.
Make a Wake Bait and Tackle on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma has everything a fisherman needs. Rods, reels, tackle, plastics, all kinds of great baits to catch a wall hanger. Rods starting at $69.95. The biggest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reaction Innovation, Bobby Garland, Lake Fork Hugin, and more. And Make a Wake has Daiwa rods and reels, and they repair them too. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 1 mile east of I-540 on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
It's getting colder, and that means it's time to winterize your RV at Breeden RV. RV plumbing and hot water heaters can cost you hundreds of dollars if not properly taken care of. Winter will be here before you know it, and we don't want you to be left out in the cold. So, call Breeden RV at 479-262-2418 to schedule your deluxe winterization special for just $99. And don't forget to visit us on the web at BreedenRVs.com for weekly snowbird specials. And remember, every new RV comes with our exclusive free maintenance for life. From all of us here at Breeden RV, happy holidays and go Hogs.
Do you want to work for a trucking company with state-of-the-art technology? A trucking company that will give you the tools to do your job and make a great living and come home safe? Of course you do. That company you want to work for is Brent Higgins Trucking in Mulberry. Brent and Connie Higgins genuinely care about your future and your family. Brent Higgins Trucking, where you're a name, not a number. Call them today at 479-997-2366 or apply online at BrentHigginsTrucking.com.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
This is ESPN 95.3. Halftime today is brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings in Fort Smith, Conway, Little Rock, Sherwood, and Jonesboro. B-Dubs, wings, beer, sports.
Let the good times roll. Let them knock you around.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett. Want to jump in the conversation with the guys? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963.
Halftime brought to you by Ozark Orthopedics. If you're a weekend warrior or a professional athlete, Ozark Orthopedics can help you stay in the game. They have the sports medicine experts that can help athletes of all ages and skill levels get back to the activities they love safely and pain-free. Your injury might happen before, during, or after the game. Doesn't matter. Their team of orthopedic specialists can provide you with the most comprehensive and advanced care available. Ozark-ortho.com, 479-521-2752 to schedule an appointment with Ozark Orthopedics today. One of the things I've seen, people are really fired up about the Outback Bowl for Arkansas because of one specific item on the menu.
Ooh, can I take a guess?
Did you see? Well, hold on.
Oh,
Let's let Sam Pittman tell everybody what this is, because apparently he was pretty fired up about it. This was the very end of his press conference talking about the invite and the acceptance to the Outback Bowl.
Thanks, Coach.
Uh-huh.
All right, thanks, Coach. I'll wrap it up.
Go Hogs. Bloomin' onions, baby.
That's right.
Bloomin' onion.
Coach fired up.
Is there anything
Bloomin'
better
onions,
than a bloomin'
baby.
onion? I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know, Phil. I might. This might be a hill I'm willing to die on because there was plenty of times like I like to make my own steak because I'm a very good cook.
I've
told
you
all that plenty of times. But there's plenty of times that I would, because I had an Outback probably only 5 minutes away from my house back when I lived in East Memphis, that I would get a Bloomin' Onion takeout alone. And
just
then
that?
I would just get the Bloomin' Onion. Call up, order a Bloomin' Onion, go pick it up, come back, grill my steak, and then I'd eat on the Bloomin' Onion for like 2-3 days because you can't eat a whole Bloomin' Onion in one sitting.
You didn't have like a whole rye bread right in front of you, did you? Or it's not rye, it's a pumpernickel.
The bread comes with it.
Oh, you got your bread with your Bloomin' Onion.
You order a Bloomin' Onion, you get bread is included. So
that kind of has to go along with the experience, right?
It really does. So I mean, that's why I did it so much. If the bread wasn't included, yeah, I'd probably still do it, but not as much. I go
the coconut shrimp route. That would be my go-to appetizer at Down Under.
See, the way that I differ
Bloomin' Onions, baby,
appetizers and meals is coconut shrimp. Yeah, that could be a decent appetizer, but it also could be a really, really good meal. Nobody's eating a Bloomin' Onion as a whole meal.
Well,
so then it's strictly an appetizer. Yeah. No, I grilled a steak and then I ate on the Bloomin' Onion next 2-3 days.
Well, I mean, so I don't know what the trophy looks like for the Outback Bowl. It should look like an item off the menu.
It should look like the Bloomin' Onion.
It should look like a giant bone-in ribeye, or I guess a Bloomin' Onion, or the bread. Either one of those three things, or maybe it could just be like a dinner plate for you when you sit down there. Be a beautiful, beautiful trophy to have on display.
Well, that's so fun. I just looked it up.
Along with the Southwest Conference trophy, along with the Battle Line trophy, and the boot. And Larry the Bowling Ball needs to be on display for the remainder of the history of Arkansas football at the Fred W. Smith Center.
I looked up the trophy. It's just a crystal ball and a boomerang.
Man,
they
put the boomerang on there?
Yeah, the boomerang's
That's
on
the
there.
only thing about Outback that actually has anything to do with Australia.
Yeah.
That's it. If boomerangs really are even a thing there, man.
I don't know. I've never been.
They don't even drink Fosters in Australia very much. All right, we're into the second hour. Get Off My Lawn is right after this.
For a limited time, Art's Barbecue and Burgers is serving up some great combo platters with all your favorite choices from Art's. Ribs and brisket, catfish and brisket, pulled pork and brisket, plus catfish and ribs. And you can add a hot link, sausage, or 2 tamales to any of the combo platters. Make your combo plate any way you want it to be. And don't forget, every Friday night is all you can eat catfish at Art's. Art's Barbecue and Burgers, Rogers Avenue next to Buddy's in Fort Smith. Real smoked barbecue.
For a dependable, fuel-efficient tractor from a company committed to the future, choose a Branson tractor. Each of our tractors is backed by a 6-year limited warranty with models available ranging in horsepower from 22 to 58. You are sure to find the tractor that is right for you. Make sure you call or stop in today at the new location for Bush Tractor at 6100 South 0 Street in Fort Smith. Again, that is 6100 South 0 Street in Fort Smith. Or you can check them out online at bushtractor.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you're a fence builder or have building experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay, health, dental, and vision benefits, plus a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
This is a special announcement for residents of Ozone, Oark, Lake Ludwig, Harmony, Mount Vernon, areas north and west of Clarksville. Wave Rural Connect is coming to you. The Clarksville Zone is opening on December 9th, bringing big city internet to rural Johnson County. Fiber internet, TV, and phone provided by Arkansas Valley Electric, a local company serving local residents. Visit waveruralconnect.com for more. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, an increase in the cloud cover, especially across the north. Our high temperatures today, mid to upper 40s. Clouds will be with us tonight, and overnight low 30s. And then tomorrow, an increase in the sunshine, highs in the middle to upper 50s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Hey, this is Ty Richardson. Make sure to listen to The Morning Rush every weekday morning from 6 to 9 on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Proceed. KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3.
It's what I always listen to.
Live from the Bushlight Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
And this one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Streaming live from
.com. Fans are amazing. It is lit down here on the sideline.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Here come the students. Oh, here come the students. They're coming from the south end, and this one has been a long time brewing.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
Still kind of tough to see the sun around northwest Arkansas as we've got cloud-covered skies, cold temperatures, and into the second hour on a Tuesday here on Halftime. 877-377-6963. Still waiting the announcement of the Broyles Award winner down in Little Rock. I would assume sometime in the next 30 minutes or so they'll have.
How long
that.
does a luncheon normally go? Have you been to it?
I've been to that luncheon a few times. It's usually 90 minutes long, but I think for the Broyles Award announcement they go a little bit longer. And hey, you got plenty of people that know how to talk over and over, so they're not going to have any trouble filling any time if they got to do that. And speaking of filling time, it's great that we do prep for this show. Like Drew puts prep together.
Days, yeah.
Maddie works very hard on this show. I try to put a little effort into it too. We've become a little bit lazier now these days, and it's through no accusing to anybody that's on the show here. It's just we've kind of gotten used to Charlie calling at 12 o'clock almost every day. When it doesn't happen, it's like, is something wrong? Somebody needs to check on this guy if he's still alive. Here he is. Charlie, what do you got for us today?
What's up, guys? Man,
just waiting on you like usual.
Oh, man, I don't understand why Tuesdays suck a whole lot more than Mondays. I guess I heard that from you guys yesterday. Today's just been freaking dreadful. I don't know what it is.
Glad I can convince you of something there, yeah. What do you think? What's going on? Are you excited about an Arkansas basketball game tonight? You're going to stay up late, 8 o'clock tip? You watching the Hogs and the 49ers?
I'll be up watching them, man. I hope they I don't know nothing about Charlotte, but what other non-conference game do we have at the Power 5? Is it Oklahoma? Is that the only one?
Oklahoma and West Virginia.
Yeah, West Virginia, and that's
okay.
That's part of the Big 12 AC.
That's not till February, I
SEC
believe.
matchup, yeah. But the lone
that's
the lone
Big
Power
12.
5 school that Arkansas plays before beginning SEC plays Oklahoma Saturday.
All right, cool. They play Oklahoma Saturday?
Yeah, and Tulsa, man.
All right, well, that's going to be a good test for them. I don't know what their record is, but anyway.
They're 7-1 with a loss against Utah State, and they play Butler tonight. There you go.
Okay. Well, I'll say this. That'll be a good test for them. It really, in basketball, it's a little different because, these smaller schools, we sit back and we try to, call them out and, they ain't played nobody. But, at the end of the day, a lot of these schools, man, they wind up in the tournament and they make a run. And it's like, oh crap, they were good, But anyway, I'll say this about the basketball team. I think, again, just trying to figure out roles and things of that nature. I asked Drew this last week, and he didn't agree with me. But I'm gonna just come out and say it. Something is up with. I think KK. I don't know if he's in the doghouse. I asked Drew last week about this, but he just, he started the first game, and he literally barely plays now. And I trust Musk. I have a friend that actually wanted me to ask you guys this because he wants to know why KK isn't playing. I said, dude, we're undefeated. Why does it matter? But anyway, people just want to find something to gripe about.
Well, Charlie,
but,
I think
anyway,
your point is that here is one of the players from that highly touted and highly productive recruiting class from last year, and he's the only one of them that hasn't been able to get out and get going. Moses Moody's already in the NBA. Devo Davis is one of the leaders of this team. Jalen Williams is like the silent assassin, does everything. Do everything.
Yeah, he's the do it all.
KK, KK got some playing time last year before the injury, but it seemed to stunt everything. And I know leading into this year, there was still a little bit of a lagging, still dealing with, nagging pain from that injury, if I remember what Musk had mentioned in October. But, and remember, he plays that position of point guard that we kind of thought he'd figure in there somewhere as a backup point guard. But, yeah, and I've kind of wondered about the roles of Trey Wade and Kamani Johnson moving forward, because I thought that both of them would be able to add just some, overall strength and play on the blocks and in the paint and on the glass. And the, injuries are the reason that neither of them really was able to start the season by being able to play many minutes, but they're kind of forgotten as well. So something we'll bring up with Curtis Wilkerson later on, because he's joining us in 25 minutes from hogsports.com. He specializes in basketball for Hog Sports. So, yeah, and right now it's like, say the big players on the team. Audi's Tony plays bigger than he is. What's his size? Is he 6'6"?
Yeah, 6'6", 6'7", right around there.
Well, I think he seems to play a little bigger than that. Not like he's gonna handle teams fives, if they ever have one out there, and he's gonna be blocking tons of shots. But he's such a
6'6", 205.
He's such a great rebounder. He does dirty work stuff. So he's one of your big guys, yes, but, you look more, I think, at Trey Wade and Kamani Johnson as the guys that would supplant a Jalen Williams, down on the blocks when Jalen needs a blow. And right now it feels like Stanley Amude is filling that role a little bit. So it's one thing I'd be looking for the rest of the month. They're not going to – look, Wade and Johnson aren't going to be like the MVPs of this team. They're not going to be guys you point to and say they won – X amount of games this year because of them. They're complementary players, but the things they do are things that Arkansas doesn't have in droves. You know what I mean? So I would imagine their minutes might grow a little bit throughout the rest of the month, but we'll see. As far as Robinson, though, it doesn't really seem like he's in the plans very much right now. Seems like it's a tough lineup to crack if you're a guard right now.
Yeah, I believe he did play against Little Rock, but I think it was only 4 to 6 minutes, somewhere around that time frame. I don't think he had any points. Didn't record anything on the stat sheet. But yeah, I mean, it is interesting to see where he really fits in this team. And when you have Eric Musselman go out there and kind of reload through the transfer portal, you knew that was ultimately going to take away minutes from somebody. When you had Moses Moody leave, but other than that, you really didn't have that much productivity leave your bench or leave your team from last year. So when you're able to bring in the guys like Chris Likes, like Tony, like Stanley Amude, that productivity is going to go to those guys. And unfortunately for KK, maybe, Tuna and you are both right that he's just kind of left outside looking in.
Well, that's what he is right now, and the Connor Vanover deal is just so interesting. I mean, how many games has he started this year? Connor has started 7 games.
Okay.
He has started 7 games. So he started every game he's played because he didn't play against
But
Mercer.
How many games has he played over 18 minutes in?
1. 20 minutes against Kansas State. You know, so it's like Trey Wade comes off the bench against Little Rock and plays more minutes, 6 minutes and 17 seconds, than Connor Vanover did as a starter, 5 minutes, 34 seconds. And I know part of that's going to be due. Like, there'll probably be games in the SEC where Vanover plays more, depending on who's on the floor for the opponent and the style of play, too. But it's just so interesting that he's like one of the starters, and you can kind of count on that now. You just don't know how long he's going to be out there, if at all. You know, if he's really going to be out there at all in the second half. There have been second halves where he's just sat. And there are games where it feels like he could end up being like a real scoring option for Arkansas. He's 14 against Kansas State.
And that's honestly, I think it's a good thing. You know, we've seen a lot of college coaches and a lot of teams this year already start to get set in their ways and not really wanting to budge from what they do. And you look at Muss and you look at just the different lineups, the different rotations that he's been able to throw out there, that he's not afraid to pull anybody. He's not afraid to take anyone out of the game. He's not afraid to try something new, which is still good. I mean, you're in December. You don't have to have everything set. You don't have to have everything ready to roll just yet. You've got some time. You've got another 4 or 5 games to figure it out.
Yeah, and again, they didn't really figure everything out until the middle of January last year. And by that time, you know, we didn't realize they had just figured everything out. And they go on this incredible roll and end up in the Elite Eight. So, I mean, again, you trust the coaching staff from what you've learned about them for these last 2 years, and they seem to – they're good chemists.
Yeah.
Eric Musselman's a really good chemist.
I'm trusting that Muss knows where the bus is supposed to go.
Yeah, he knows where to park it. He knows how to get that thing fixed if it needs to be. You can also make sure that you get your teeth fixed properly and have proper dental health. Helped by Riley Farm Dental in Fort Smith at the entrance of Riley Farms at Highway 71. Riley Farm Dental is Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan, serving to give patients better lives and comfortable experiences. They'll provide all your dental procedures, the easy stuff, the cleanings, and braces, implants, and cosmetics. They've been voted top 3 best of the best 4 years running, and they are at RileyFarmDental.com. You can call for an appointment at 226-3500. Give them a visit. Riley Farm Dental at 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A. Get off my lawn when we return.
See, what every long shot come from behind underdog will tell you is this. The other guy may in fact be the favorite. The odds may be stacked against you, fair enough. But what the odds don't know is this isn't a math test. This is a completely different kind of test. One where passion has a funny way of trumping logic.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Are you a contractor needing some color picking help for your customers? The Paint Store in Van Buren will do that. We know what contractors need. We've done it for 33 years. Send your customers to us. We will take care of them in a friendly way. Let us do some work for you. Our blend of Richards paint makes the choice easy. The Paint Store in Van Buren is ready to help your customers right now. Call us at 474-4505 or stop by 1414 Fayetteville Road in Van Buren.
Wake up your happy at Hardee's with the new $3 French toast dips. Wait, what? French toast dips sprinkled with powdered sugar and served with a side of syrup. Sugary, syrupy, dippable. Sweeten up your morning at Hardee's. Try the new $3 French toast dips at Hardee's. The sweet one on the 2-3 more breakfast menu. Feed your happy. Available during regular breakfast hours at participating Hardee's restaurants. Tax not included. Price and participation may vary.
Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith, always giving back to the community. Isn't that right, Jordan?
Absolutely. They take care of us. We like to help to do what we can.
You're exactly right. You know, right now, Randall Ford has a canned food drive going on, and during the holidays, people could certainly use the extra food.
Absolutely. We're doing $100 per can brought in, up to $1,000. So bring them up here. We really have that value for you.
$1,000 up to $1,000 up your next purchase. Just bring in those cans of food at Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith.
COVID-19 cases are still spreading across the state. Safe, effective, and free COVID vaccines are now readily available for all Arkansans ages 5 and up. Booster shots are also available for fully vaccinated people 18 and above. The vaccines are highly effective at preventing severe COVID. That means helping keep you from being hospitalized or even dying. Get vaccinated to protect yourself, your family, and your community. Learn more at healthy.arkansas.gov. This message brought to you by the Arkansas Department of Health.
Whether you're fishing for cold water bass on Beaver Lake or Table Rock, or fishing for a trophy brown trout on the Mighty White River, the Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue will catch them. It has that famous rolling action whether it's fished extremely slow or worked fast in heavy current. This rogue suspends, so it will stay in the strike zone longer, allowing you to catch more fish. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue.
Frank Roll Furniture is continuing our sale through the end of December on all furniture, bedroom, mattresses, and kitchen tables. We are marking everything down another 10% off our already low sale prices for the month of December. We have appliances on sale also. For instance, GE Commercial Grade washer $9.99, dryer $9.99. Comes with a 5-year parts and labor warranty, 10 years on the motor, and a lifetime on the drain tub. Frank Roll Furniture, 405 4th Street, Barling, Arkansas. Best seats in the house.
Farm Credit has been a trusted friend for over 100 years. They are ag financing experts, so whether you're a longtime farmer, new to farming, or buying your dream home or land in the country, their experienced staff has a plan to fit your goals, needs, and your bottom line. From farms to land, livestock, equipment, and more, Farm Credit finances it all. Learn more at myaglender.com. Farm Credit is an equal opportunity lender.
This is ESPN 95.3. Halftime today is brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings in Fort Smith, Conway, Little Rock, Sherwood, and Jonesboro. Buffalo Wild Wings.
Roar! Wouldn't it be nice if we were older?
Kayla waits for Barnum to screen, crosses over, going to take it inside, lean into it, and score again. 32 for Michaela Daniels.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Follow the guys on Twitter at PhilElsonPXP, at Matt Travis, and at DBarrett36. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
We're talking more basketball with Curtis Wilkerson in the next segment, but as we lead into that on this Tuesday, we've got stuff that need to get off our lawns.
That is blasphemous. That is blasphemous. How dare you? How dare you say such a thing? That is insanity.
You're talking like a song from The Lion King. Stop that. It makes no sense.
Why would you say something so controversial yet so brave?
Just when I think you've said the stupidest thing ever, you keep talking.
This is ridiculous.
I'm calling my supervisor.
You're not going to amount to jack squat.
Get off my lawn.
Okay, so last night I was flipping around the internet looking for the sweet sounds of this.
3 months they've spent in Canmore.
7, 8.
It's international
Canada,
curling. I'm a
February.
huge fan.
Are you now?
Huge fan. Ever
Did
since
not
the
know
day
that.
I used to work in the Pioneer League years ago. Medicine Hat, Alberta has had a minor league baseball team back then, and their minor league stadium, and I use that word loosely, was right next door to the curling arena. They had an arena separate for curling. People actually went to these games, man. So, yeah, I'm a huge curling fan these days. And I was looking around on the internet. Usually this is on Olympics.com. You'd be able to catch this kind of stuff because in the upcoming Winter Olympics, curling is a major draw.
It's a top 5.
This is a huge international game. So I was trying to watch the U.S. versus Japan mixed doubles match in the round-robin round.
As one normally does on a Monday in Arkansas.
Right, instead of watching the Monday Night Football game. This is in the final qualifying event for the Winter Olympics. And my two favorite curlers in the mixed doubles category are Chris Plies and Vicky Persinger.
Well, of course. I mean, they're American heroes.
I've been following them for years. They're competing for the final 2 spots in the Olympics, but I couldn't find this curling game anywhere, man. Anywhere. It was not on Olympics.com. NBC is the one who's supposed to carry this, and apparently this was a problem for curling fans all around the world that broadcasters in Japan and other countries that have hot curling fans like me that need to know what's going on at that very moment. We couldn't watch anything.
I mean, you can't wait for updates. You need live action.
It's like I was supposed to get it from the wire service or something like that.
It's not coming across the ticker.
So it wasn't technical difficulties. It wasn't some major terrorist attack on the arena in the Netherlands.
Curling is a wholesome and clean sport. We don't need a dark day in curling.
Well, apparently it's too clean and wholesome a sport to have. Well, it's just look when you watch a curling event, you get the camera from the top angle from above, so you see all the sponsors right there,
all the Tim Horton signs normally
as your rock, which I know is not the right term. I'm a huge curling fan. While your rock is sliding down the ice, and there are the logos for a company called Aceto, which has a very interesting looking logo.
It's a little weird.
There is a sponsorship from Visit Leeuwarden, which was the city in the Netherlands where this event is taking place. There is an advertisement for the Netherlands lottery, which apparently is a pretty popular draw. There's also an ad on the ice and right there at what they call the hog line, which is where the curlers let their rocks go.
Yes, you can't cross a hog line.
And this is for a company called Easy Toys.
They make easy bake ovens?
This time of the year, maybe we're thinking about, easy gifts for kids that love toys, and this would be a perfect, kind of a company to go visit and everything like that. No, that's not what this company sells.
This looks like a nice logo. I mean, what could it be?
It's a lovely logo. It's a beautiful logo because there's a heart that's encapsulating the E in the word Easy Toys, and I guess some of these worldwide broadcasters were not comfortable having a company that makes adult toys
oh my stars.
On the ice or anything like that. They were perfectly okay with Jack's Casino and Sports being on the ice. Be perfectly okay with having Viagra commercials or Cialis commercials, during the Olympics, I'm sure, but you can't have the logo of the company that sells adult toys. And, you can't really give me the whole idea of what do I tell my kids when this thing comes on? What do you tell them when the Viagra commercials come on? It's basically you tell them the same thing. This is adult stuff. You'll learn about it when you're older, and then you go block the websites on their phones and on their computers. Otherwise, it doesn't work. But, I mean, really here, let's not be overly pure about certain things when you're not overly pure about the other aspects of this, and let us huge curling fans watch our game. Get off my lawn.
I'm with you. That's quite hypocritical. I mean, you look at the logo, it does. I mean, yes, if you asked me before just what does that logo look like, well, what do they probably do? I would have said they probably make adult toys.
They're just promoting love, man.
Exactly. I mean, it's just like we see commercials for it all the time. What is it, Adam and Eve shop? You see those on cable networks.
It's not even a suggestive ad.
It's not either. It's like the ad for like Adam and Eve shop. It's just like it's like a woman doing a sexy voice, be discreet, and like all that stuff. Like there's no like to be discreet. There's no nothing. There's no for her pleasure type of mentioning.
I'm old enough to remember what the Ashley Madison ads used to look like. Come on now.
I mean, Phil, when I go to Nashville in a few weeks, from the stretch from Memphis to Nashville on I-40, I promise you, I will pass 36 sex shops. There are 1,000 of them across this country on I-40 alone.
Well, none of them sponsor curling.
And it's perfectly fine for them to have billboards and signs and everything. But by golly, if Easy Toys puts their logo, a nice, decent looking logo, there's no nudity, there's no people. It's not like they put a big dildo on the ice.
Yeah, right. All right. Well,
if
Drew,
they can't have it, I don't know.
Well, you do yours. I'm going to go on my phone here and make a couple of purchases. Pardon me.
Okay. All right. I have no idea what you're going to look up, but I will go ahead and do get off my lawn. And I kind of brought this up yesterday when bowl games are announced and you start talking about players opting in or opting out, and well, why would they really want to play? It doesn't matter. It matters. It matters as much as you want it to matter, and the fact that there are some people that want you to find zero joy in getting to any bowl game that is not a college football playoff bowl game, I do not understand. I'll never understand it because it's just misery wants company. It's the same people that want to put you down for literally anything, saying that it doesn't matter. When in the grand schemes, yeah, you're not gonna hang a banner. You're not adding a lettering to your press box with the year and champion of such and such to it. You're not doing that. But it matters to the fans. It matters to the players. Matters to the coaches. Just because it doesn't matter to you doesn't mean that it's worthless. And those people need to always remember some of the greatest words ever spoken in American history. What might be right for you may not be right for some. Because it takes different strokes. It takes different strokes. It takes different strokes to move the world.
You use that for a lot of different occasions?
I do. Because just because you don't like it doesn't mean it's worthless to someone. Because it takes different strokes to move the world. Because the world doesn't move to the beat of just one drum.
That's true. What you talking about, Drew?
I'm just saying. And I'm done preaching, so get off my lawn, you haters.
I've come around on this a little bit. I mean, I used to say there's too many bowl games and whatever. I mean, look, I mean, it's like the idea of, you're worth what somebody is willing to pay you.
Mm-hmm.
If there were too many bowl games, then we wouldn't have as many as we got. Basically, because there's a market for them.
Yeah, last time I checked, they're not running out of companies ready to pay for them.
There are enough viewers willing to watch Middle Tennessee and Toledo next in 10 days. Next
and I
Friday at 11 o'clock in the morning on ESPN. There are enough viewers who are just clamoring to watch Eastern Michigan and Liberty in the Lending Tree Bowl in Mobile. Which is coming in on a Saturday.
And it's not just viewers. There are Eastern Michigan fans out there, believe it or not. They have a fan base too.
Absolutely.
And they care.
And they're going to make the trip. They are going to make the trip, as are the Kent State fans to Idaho to watch their Golden Flashes against the Wyoming Cowboys in the famous Idaho
For every
Potato
Hog
Bowl.
fan that's getting a bowl ticket for Christmas or is planning a huge bowl trip to Tampa for the Outback Bowl, there's an Eastern Michigan dad doing the exact same thing. There's a Utah State fan out there doing it. There is a Central Michigan fan. There's Toledo. There's Southern Miss. There's UAB. All of these programs, believe it or not, they have fan bases. They have people that are loyal and diehard fans. Just because they're not Power 5, just because they're not one of the top 10 programs, doesn't mean that their fandom is worth less than yours or anything. So just always remember that. When you pass a bowl game and you say, oh, why is that even on? Who cares? Well, they do. So just let them enjoy it. Don't try to bring them down.
Hey, I'd like to be Memphis. That is awarded for a mediocre 6-6 season with a trip to Hawaii for the Hawaii Bowl.
I'd like to be able to afford it.
The homestanding Warriors. Yeah, how many Memphis fans are going to be able to, on a very quick notice, make that trip?
I'm going to say at least 300, maybe 5.
Oh, I've come around a little bit more on it because, for the players that don't opt out, and there's a lot, the guys that are playing in the MAC, at the G5 schools, like there's not a lot. I would imagine there's a lot of opting out for bowl games because this is what you're really lunging towards in your college football career anyway. All right, we're going to take a break and return with Curtis Wilkerson of hogsports.com. We'll get into the Razorbacks basketball team right after this.
Things that's better left alone. I'm resurrecting memories of a love that's dead and gone. Yet tonight I'm sitting alone, digging up bones.
Halftime is brought to you by Crabtree RV. Back and better than ever. All eyes are on the gridiron as teams are back for another football season. As always, BetOnline is your #1 spot for all the pro and college football action this season. With the new updated site and interface, even more odds, props, and contests, BetOnline continues to be the #1 source for everything football. Head to your website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Don't forget to use our promo code code BELIEVE to receive your bonus. That's BLEAV. From football, basketball, boxing, right to your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of these amazing offers for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Do you know the difference between admission and confession? Admission is acknowledging the truth of something. Confession is a formal statement agreeing that you're guilty. Greg Allman admitted he's no angel, but that doesn't mean he confessed his guilt before God. Romans 10:10 says, heart one believes and is justified, and with the mouth one confesses and is saved. Confess to God that Jesus died in your guilty place, and then you'll receive His amazing grace. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Pray about it.
The Game Day Lodge in Branson is the perfect place for corporate retreats, golf trips, and team building activities. You'll find 10 bedrooms with 19 beds for up to 28 guests, 9 bathrooms, 17 TVs, poker table, 2 kitchens, 2 laundry rooms, a fire pit, 2 gas grills, outdoor basketball court, a heated indoor swimming pool nearby, and a 10-minute drive to Silver Dollar City. Not to mention near some of the best golf courses. Just search Game Day Lodge on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Airbnb, and VRBO. We're back and better than ever. All eyes are on the gridiron as teams are back for another football season. As always, BetOnline is your #1 spot for all the pro and college football action this season.
Law's Drugstore has the Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, and Moderna vaccines. These vaccines are safe and effective in preventing severe cases of COVID. Call 452-6116 to schedule your appointment or stop by Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
TGI Fridays is the best place in Fort Smith for food, fun, and football. Your locally owned TGI Fridays in Fort Smith has your favorite beers on tap. And Thursday through Sunday for bar football, all drafts are just $2. Fridays is the best place to watch football with plenty of TVs so you won't miss a second of the action while enjoying famous Fridays appetizers like the loaded potato skins or Friday's signature whiskey glazed sliders. It's food, fun, and football with $2 drafts Thursday through Sunday at your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 and Rogers in Fort Smith.
This is ESPN 95.3. Halftime today is brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings in Fort Smith, Conway, Little Rock, Sherwood, and Jonesboro. Buffalo Wild Wings.
You look like an angel.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett. The Morning Rush, Halftime, Ruskin and Zach, Hog Reaction, Coffee with Counsel, Huddle Up, and Fantasy Football Sunday. All available on the Hit That Line podcast network. Just type Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Our podcasts are on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, HitThatLine.com, Anchor, TuneIn, Stitcher, and Google Play. Brought to you by Breeden RV Center.
Curtis Wilkerson is not the devil in disguise. He is a hogsports.com writer covering basketball and really everything, but he's a basketball specialist and joins us here on Halftime. We always appreciate your time, Curtis. Good to talk to you. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Happy to be on with you guys today.
Absolutely. You got it, man. So we finally have net rankings, right? These are the rankings that mean something to me because they lead to quadrants, which lead to the ability to parse what each victory means, which leads to the selection committee's eventual rankings these are the rankings that mean something. What do you glean out of Arkansas being number 44 in the net and the other quadrants that come with that?
Yeah, I think it's important with these net rankings to take it with a grain of salt in the terms of understanding that, it gives you a pretty telltale of, where Arkansas is right now and the schedule that they've played so far. Also with the understanding that this is something that's fluid, right? It adjusts throughout the course of the season, it corrects itself. Some of these games that might not look so great now are probably going to look a little bit better in March. But, to look at it right now, like you said, Arkansas debuted at number 44. That might have been a surprise to some people, a little lower, especially when you consider where they're ranked in the AP poll, the coaches poll, one of 12 undefeated teams in the country. But, what's getting them right now is you mentioned those quadrant games, and they've got all six of their home games are in that quadrant 4 range. And that's kind of what you want to avoid. A couple teams on that schedule early that maybe they thought would be a little bit better out of the gates, like a Northern Iowa, have scuffled a little bit. So that's dragging them down. But again, it's fluid, right? So for those games to move up from, say, a quadrant 4 to a quadrant 3, they would just have to get into the top 160 in those net rankings. So you look at it, Gardner-Webb's at 161. That's a game that could easily move up. Mercer, they beat Coastal Carolina. I don't know how exciting that is. They did it last night. They moved up from 209 to 164. So it's such a small sample size right now that those things are going to go back and forth. Arkansas plays Charlotte tonight. They're number 201, and regardless of outcome, Charlotte's going to get a bump just for playing Arkansas. Mm-hmm. So it's really interesting to follow, but it's definitely something that's going to change a lot in the coming weeks.
Yeah, and then Oklahoma's net ranking is 38. So you'll get a chance to bump it up on Saturday. And you can't take anybody lightly. Just ask Florida. I'm not going to go out and say that they took Texas Southern lightly.
I'm sure they did.
There was no betting line, man. But they nobody could have imagined that they would end up losing. I saw a tweet you'd put out here, and according to the stats, it must have just been an unlucky day for Florida. Is that true?
Yeah, it's incredible, right? And I retweeted what Shot Quality puts out, and that's just a site that they really measure just kind of teams' performances based on the type of shots they create and take, and then the same thing for their opponents. And looking at it, it seems like based on the shots that both teams took over the course of the game, that Florida pretty much should win that game every single time. And obviously they should have anyway, playing an 0-7 Texas Southern, but based on the shots that were taken in the actual game, they should have. So it means Texas Southern was lighting it up and probably shooting a little bit over their heads, and Florida just had a really rough night. So that's a tough one for them for sure.
All right, so Arkansas is undefeated. They're mostly playing well, yet we have a sense that there's still a ways to go before they reach their potential, and maybe they haven't even really scratched their potential just yet. When they're finally there, what do you think this team will be really good at, and what do you see as a potential weakness?
Yeah, well, I think they've got the potential to be really good defensively, and quite honestly, they have been for the most part, aside from those ups and downs, defending the 3. But I think it's a team that's got some really good perimeter defenders. They're a high steals team. They generate a lot of turnovers and get out and convert in transition. Any team that can fuel their offense through their defense is usually putting themselves in a pretty good spot. They've rebounded very well, and I think it's something they can carry over into SEC play. And then offensively, we've talked a lot about the point guard position and who's going to man that role, and they've been trying to figure some things out there. But if you look at it, they're a pretty low turnover team and a high assist rate team on the national scale. So they've been sharing it pretty well. Just really good off-ball movement. You got the cutters like Audis Toney getting to the rim, Jalen Williams facilitating things. So I think, creating good opportunities around the basket with some good passing is something that will carry over as well. And then, in terms of weaknesses, you nitpick, and you kind of have to with an undefeated team. You got to find a weakness like that, but it's 3-point shooting. And we're getting a fairly large sample size right now, and it's an area they've struggled in. I thought they did better against Little Rock in terms of overall shot selection. They did make 6, which is a step forward. I think they're a better 3-point shooting team than they're letting on, but I don't know that they're going to be a great one, especially in terms of overall volume of makes. So that's something to keep an eye on. If you're not going to shoot the three very well, you probably need to defend it really well, or vice versa. So I think those two areas are going to be something to really watch as the season moves forward.
Curtis, bringing up the three-point shooting, and that's kind of been the question mark around an 8-0 team. And the way that college basketball is nowadays, and it translates it into the SEC, can you win in college basketball without having one or two dead-eye shooters? Because it feels like every team in recent memory that makes a deep run in the tournament or wins the tournament, they always have at least one or two guys they can go to at any moment to knock down that big shot.
Yeah, so far so good, and they've had a couple tests there on the neutral sites against I think a Kansas State team that's better than maybe people expected, and Cincinnati, who I think is an NCAA tournament team, and Arkansas didn't shoot well at all in those games, but they defended the three really well. So, they're going to be able, or they're going to need to be able to knock down some of those perimeter shots moving forward, I think, to really kind of max out their potential. And they might be a streaky bunch. I mean, we've seen them already knock down 10-plus threes. I think it was that Northern Iowa game. They can get hot. You've got guys that can knock down 3 or 4 in a game, and a J.D. Note and Chris Likes. And I'm really anxious to see, how the role continues to evolve for a guy like Jackson Robinson. I know the percentage might not play it out right now, but, man, when he shoots it, you think it's going in. It's just a really fluid release, and I think he could really help him to that regard. To answer your question, and it's kind of like I said a minute ago, I think if you're not going to shoot the three very well, you better defend it really well, because otherwise you're playing a numbers game and you're trading twos for threes. And, I mean, we can all do that kind of math. Yeah. So I think, one way or the other, they're going to have to either really shoot it or really defend it.
A few guys that I want to kind of get your opinion about their role on this team, and kind of from what they've been playing, it's kind of night and day. And Connor Vanover, where he started 7 games to this point, but his minutes have been so fluctuating up and down that it's kind of hard to really pin down his role. And then returning guy in KK Robinson, who only played 4 minutes last week, and we've had a caller call in a few times wanting to know, what his situation is with the team. So I just want to get your opinion on those two guys.
Yeah, with Connor Vanover, it's interesting with him. It seems like it's kind of a similar role to what he had last year. Before he did fall off a little bit there towards the NCAA tournament, but for the most part, they would start him, see what he could bring to the table in a given game, and if the matchups worked out, he'd play. And if the matchups didn't work out, then he'd probably sit most of the game. And we've seen that so far. When Vanover has a good defensive matchup, he can be a really key piece for this team, and we've seen it. He's had some big performances. His per 40 numbers are amongst the best on the team, to be perfectly honest. But, when he faces one of those mobile big men or a guy that can drag him out on the perimeter, that's just a tough challenge for him. And it's, in those situations, you're going to have to go with somebody else. And quite honestly, I think that's why a guy like, maybe a Trey Wade or a Kamani Johnson could become really important, because you're going to have some of those matchups in SEC play. So for Vanover, I think he's kind of a guy that's going to be situational. You're just going to have to see from game to game, if the matchups work out for him. And then with KK, I think you can tell when a guy is pressing a little bit, maybe thinking a little bit too much. And I feel like that's what I'm seeing from him in the last couple of games. He's been getting some opportunities. He sees, Arkansas's got a pretty good backcourt. There's a lot of guards there, a lot of guys with, who are proven with experience. He's trying to crack that rotation, and he's trying to do it in short spurts. And so, he's got to take advantage of his opportunities. He got in there against Little Rock, was only in there for a few minutes, and then he fouled a 3-point shooter and got taken out. So, taking a little bit better advantage of those opportunities, you want to see him maybe be able to play through some mistakes and build some confidence. But, Arkansas hasn't really pulled away in these games enough to have the luxury to be able to do that so far. So it's been a tough situation for him. I do think if he's right and confident and playing up to his potential, he could be one of those guys that could really help this team from a shooting standpoint from beyond the arc.
So you mentioned two guys here that I think are going to be big moving forward. And not that they're going to be stars on this team or anything, but it's Trey Wade and Kamani Johnson. And I say that because the only player for Arkansas right now that weighs more than 210 pounds, that's getting minutes, real minutes, is Jalen Williams. And Trey Wade and Kamani Johnson are thick, strong dudes that you're going to need when you get into the SEC season. And Jalen Williams can't do it himself. I think he's an incredible player. But there has to be another forward to do forward things once you get into the league, right?
Yeah, I'm with you 100% on that. It's interesting. Jalen Williams, he's just been so valuable to this team with everything he does beyond scoring, with his passing, rebounding, everything like that. But, especially once you get into SEC play, those guys who are playing center, playing on the interior, they're taking a beating, and that's going to wear you down over the course of the year. So you're right. This is an SEC that is about as athletic and big and physical as I remember seeing in years. So they're going to need those guys. And, Kamani Johnson has a reputation for bringing that physicality. He's a fantastic offensive rebounder. You're going to need that. I think he could really help the team from that standpoint. We haven't seen a whole lot of him just yet. And so you would like to see him, get a little bit more comfortable as opposed to just being thrown into the fire come SEC play. And then the same thing with Trey Wade. And yeah, he's a unit. That guy's a tank, just big, broad-shouldered, strong guy. What I like about Trey Wade is he's got so much experience. He played on an NCAA tournament team at Wichita State. He's been a starter pretty much his entire career, understands his role. So, I think when you get in some of those tight games and with what he's able to do with his defensive versatility, a guy that keeps the ball moving, he doesn't have to look for his own shot, and then can give you that banger kind of presence in the lane and get on the glass. I think either one of those guys could be important. And again, Jalen Williams is your guy, right? So it's not like you need either one of these guys to come in and play 25 minutes a night for you, but if between the two of them you can get, 12 to 15, I think you're a lot better team.
Yeah. Kurt, appreciate your time, man. We'll see you at Bud Walton Arena tonight. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Hey, it sounds great. Appreciate you guys having me on.
Curtis Wilkerson from hogsports.com joining us here on Halftime. I always remember the first time I saw his name, I'm thinking, what is the former utility man for the Cubs and the Rangers and the Pirates and the Royals doing writing about Arkansas athletics now? I don't know. I'm going to have to ask Curtis, the one we just spoke to, if he's ever heard of Curtis Wilkerson, the Major League ball player.
Could be some relation there.
He was around for 11 years. I doubt it. I don't think there's a relation. They look quite a bit different from each other.
Well, who knows?
Quite a bit different from each other. So, but I got to ask him about that anyway. All right, we'll wrap up halftime right after the break, and stay with us.
Looking for a different gift idea this holiday season? Gift cards from Joe's Grill and Cantina in Fort Smith make the perfect stocking stuffer for Christmas. Joe's gift cards come in just one shape, but all different sizes, and they're guaranteed to please everyone on your list, so they can enjoy Taco Tuesdays, half-price apps and taps, and all the daily specials at Joe's. Give the gift of Joe's Grill and Cantina for Christmas. Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Looking for a fence company that will provide the personal touch to your fence or gating project? Call Dusty's Fence Company at 479-629-4190. Dusty's Fence Company specializes in custom wood design, vinyl fencing, chain link and ornamental iron projects, and they can even stain your fence to complete your project. Family owned and in business for 20 years, you will deal with the same person from start to finish. That's Dusty's Fence Company, 479-629-4190.
Ever had a water heater that caused flooding? Or a water heater that won't put out hot water? What's worse is when the family uses up all the hot water, leaving you a cold shower. This can be a nightmare. Hi, it's Emily with Mr. Rooter Plumbing in Fort Smith. Did you know that we offer tankless water heaters so you never have to have this problem again? When you need plumbing, call Mr. Rooter in Fort Smith or book online at mrrooter.com. We're your neighborly company.
Let Carco Car Sales, formerly Hertz Car Sales, show you how easy it is to buy a quality used car. Carco Auto Sales has been serving the River Valley in eastern Oklahoma for over 40 years and believe in fair prices, superior service, and treating people right. The friendly and knowledgeable staff is here to help you find the car you deserve, priced right to fit your budget, so you can leave with a peace of mind knowing that you are getting a quality, well-maintained vehicle. Come see the team at Carco Auto Sales, formerly Hertz Car Sales, at 2810 Midland Boulevard today. Give them a call at 783-1722 or check them out at buyfromcarco.com. Carco Auto Sales, when you're ready.
Do you own apartment complexes, condos, and rental property? Then you have made a great investment. Now make another great decision by calling Trinity Multifamily to help you maximize your return. Trinity Multifamily offers full-service property management, marketing, leasing, sales, and all the services to make your cash flow. Take the hassles and frustrations out of ownership and call Trinity Multifamily at 479-452-1817 or online at trinitymultifamily.com. Trinity Multifamily, your teammate in the real estate game.
Champion Cycling, located at 5500 Massard Road, is a locally owned bike shop in Fort Smith that wants to help you find the joy in cycling that has been a part of their family for years. Their goal is to find the right bike for you, whether it's a road bike, mountain bike, or just a bike for leisure. Champion Cycling is totally stocked and has a large selection of bikes, including brands from Specialized, Pivot, and Look. Whether it's fixing a flat tire or a basic tune-up, their dependable service department is always ready to help. Stop by Champion Cycling today at 5500 Massard Road, and they will help you find your joy in cycling.
Make a Wake Bait and Tackle on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma has everything a fisherman needs. Rods, reels, tackle, plastics, all kinds of great baits to catch a wall hanger. Rods starting at $69.95. The biggest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reaction Innovation, Bobby Garland, Lake Fork Coogan, and more. And Make a Wake has Daiwa rods and reels, and they repair them too. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 1 mile east of I-540 on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
It's getting colder, and that means it's time to winterize your RV at Breeden RV. RV plumbing and hot water heaters can cost you hundreds of dollars if not properly taken care of. Winter will be here before you know it, and we don't want you to be left out in the cold. So, call Breeden RV at 479-262-2418 to schedule your deluxe winterization special for just $99. And don't forget to visit us on the web at BreedenRVs.com for weekly snowbird specials. And remember, every new RV comes with our exclusive free maintenance for life. From all of us here at Breeden RV, happy holidays and go Hogs.
This is ESPN 95.3. Halftime today is brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings in Fort Smith, Conway, Little Rock, Sherwood, and Jonesboro. B-Dubs, wings, beer, sports. Are you entered to win free mortgage for a year? Go to hitthatline.com for more details. Brought to you by real estate agents Nick and Ellie Glidewell and Matt Fowler at Highlands Residential Mortgage and Mountain Home. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
Well, here it is. Been waiting for the announcement of the winner of the Broyles Award for the entire show.
Did you find it?
And they're not going to announce it until 1 o'clock.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a long ceremony, man. Very long. I guess, time to eat lunch, hear everybody speak. When
How many speakers do they have?
Well, they have speakers who go long, like David Basil, like Rex Nelson. I don't mean that negatively. These are just guys that go long. They do, and I think
Maybe we need some Oscars music to start playing with the clock and everything.
Well, they don't have an award. They don't have a winner announced just yet. So it won't happen until off the show. I guess Grant will be able to tell everybody on 99.5 about the winner, and then those across the rest of our stations will wait until Ruskin and Zach tell you who the winner is. All right, am I really supposed to believe that there was an NFL game yesterday where the winner threw 3 passes? Incredible.
Yes, you are.
I don't know what else what else could you expect with a game that had
franchise record 3 passes.
What was the weather? It was freezing temperatures. It was snowing, and the wind was going at
see the wind? See the goalposts?
Yes.
Especially the pregame. When I saw the videos on Twitter for during 2-3 hours before the game, I was like, oh, no, this is not going to be good. And then Monday Night Countdown comes on. The whole crew gets almost blown completely out of their chairs. That wind seemed terrible. I honestly don't know if I could have made it sitting outside. I might have wussed out. I might have left at halftime.
Well, I was too busy trying to find the curling tournament. So
I know what you were doing, but I like most people, were watching football.
Well, I read where one of the flags on the top of the stadium ripped off of the mast because of the wind, and You know, the guys you really feel for in things like that are the kickers. You know, quarterbacks.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you can throw short passes and anything, but like punters, field goal kickers, kickoffs. I remember watching, and this wasn't, snow or cold temperatures or anything, but it was wind, real crazy wind. Forget the year, but it was the Sun Bowl in El Paso, Pitt versus Oregon State. Final score 3-0 because it was nuts.
Mm-hmm.
The wind was like sustained 30 miles an hour.
Oh, gosh.
You ever been to El Paso? That's just like, that happens
No, I've never
twice
been to
a
El
month
Paso.
in El Paso. But I think they had gusts up to 40 feet. You saw a punt go backwards in that game, Drew. It went backwards.
Oh.
It was the most unwatchable football game in the history of my lifetime. But something tells me the Patriots and Bills game was a little more entertaining than that yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, it was a decent game. I mean, it's one of those games that you don't mind seeing every now and then. I don't think it's what we want to watch Monday Night Football after Monday Night Football on, but, see somewhat of an old-fashioned ground and pound type of game, a game where Mac Jones threw 3 passes, completed 2 for 19 yards, won the football game, which is a franchise record for anybody wanting to know of the fewest pass attempts and completions.
This is like the kind of stuff
in a
you see
game
out
for the
of,
Patriots.
like Army or Navy or Air Force, right?
Oh, yeah.
The military academies are the ones that throw maybe 2 or 3 passes a game, or Harding Academy, Harding University.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you run that option, that's not what the Patriots weren't running the triple option last night.
Well, they at least weren't planning on it going into the week. I don't think so. But, I mean, it was fine. I kind of just liked watching the weather of it, though, just and seeing all those Bills people, which everyone knows as far as NFL fans go. NFL fans are crazy. And then there's Bills fans.
Yeah,
exactly. So it's
north.
like NFL fans, normal crazy here, and then Bills fans are way up here. Like they break tables for fun. They are there to black out and fight. Like that is their thing. They call themselves a mafia because they will break your kneecaps. Like they are crazy people.
They don't accept you unless you're shirtless.
Exactly. So for the fact that it was kind of fun just to kind of watch those crazy people out there in that weather. And most of them, it looks like it didn't even faze them. It looked like it really was just another day in Buffalo. And if that's the case, who chooses to live in Buffalo?
Some people are born there and just figure they'll stay.
If I was born there, I think I'd move. I
So
honestly,
you're a Southerner, Drew.
I am.
You don't get it.
I can't do cold, Phil. I can't.
You don't get it. You don't get the Rust Belt cities. And
today
Buffalo
is too
kind of
cold for
one.
me.
Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Buffalo. A lot of people say, "Why would you live there?" Well, why would you live where you live? Because you love it.
Because I love it, and
Those
that's all.
people actually
And
do
you're
like
right.
living there, man.
It's
They've
all
got
I
civic
know.
pride.
All I known is the South.
Something tells me you'll know a little bit more at some point.
I'm sure I will.
All right, we've been brought to you today by Crabtree RV Center in Alma. Get out to their 17-acre, 26,000-square-foot showroom floor at the junction of I-40 and I-49. Crabtree RV will help you find the best RV for your adventures. Got a breakdown service and parts department takes care of you. See the inventory at crabtreerv.com. And that's halftime for a Tuesday. And we're back with you tomorrow. It should be a glorious Wednesday to talk sports and whatever else we've got dreamed up. For Drew and Maddie, I'm Phil. Get up, get out, and get better.